Rain just loves spoiling England versus India when it comes to the shortest format. However, England were in a dominant position, thanks largely to Nat Sciver and Amy Jones just dispensing a number of bullets from their bats. And we did see probably the catch of the year. Hello and welcome to Cricbuzz for the review of the first T20. Thanks to the Duckworth-Lewis Stern, see, everyone forgets Stern, poor guy. England were able to secure victory in this series by winning the first T20 and going ahead 8 points to 4. I hope that this means that we're going to see this multi-format series take place again between these two great nations. But also by the end of the T20 series, I've got everything crossed that we see a trophy, and a trophy allocated maybe with a name of past players to ensure that we see the longevity of this format with these two teams. India won the toss and see, it was pretty simple. Harmanpreet Kaur came in to flip the coin and all of a sudden India were able to win it. No surprises that we saw new faces in both sides, with India going for Radha Yadav, Harleen Deol and Richard Ghosh, which was a surprise, taking the wicket-keeper gloves for the first time for India. As for England, Maddie Villiers, Freya Davies and Danny Wyatt, a player that had a lot of pressure coming into this match, given that we didn't see her in the ODI format. Straight away, we saw another level of India within the field. Radha Yadav at backward point was able to stop so many runs, and it just seemed to lift everyone's standard. However, England, through Danny Wyatt and Tammy Beaumont, were able to be clever enough to drop and run and really run well between wickets. Heather Knight at the post-match conference actually said that they've been searching for a 50-run opening partnership for a while in this format, and they were able to get it. But what we've seen so often with Radha Yadav, I think it's 27 games in a row, as soon as she comes on to bowl, she picks up a wicket. 27 games of T20 cricket and she's been able to pick up a wicket. That is an amazing feat. She was able to remove Danny Wyatt. What that did was it brought probably the batter that's most informed throughout this series, Nat Sciver, who seems to be batting on a different planet. Every time she comes out, it looks like she's batting on a different pitch, and it's just amazing to see her timing. The fact that she's able to generate so much power off the front foot, which most players do, but it's the back foot that it's just such a treat to watch. And I'd go as far as to say that Nat Sciver, in my eyes, is the #1 all-rounder in all formats. At the moment, she is in an absolute purple patch. Between her and Amy Jones, they were able to absolutely accelerate England's innings. And at one stage, it looked like India was going to be chasing something within that 180, 190 mark. But fielding came into its own. Harmanpreet Kaur was able to effect the first specky, or a classic catch as we like to say. But then Harleen Deol, it has gone viral. It is trending. Like her catch, her athleticism, her ability to understand where the ropes were, to be able to have the balance and skill to dive back in. Well done. We are going to enjoy living and watching that. Is that the best catch that we will see this year? I'll put it to you guys. What it did mean was that India was still going to have to chase their highest total, and you needed to get your openers to get off to a great start. Unfortunately, Shafali Verma, I think the England pace bowlers, especially Catherine Brunt, has gotten into her head. She's waiting for the short ball. Her footwork is all over the place, and she departed in the first over. I've seen this also from Shafali Verma in the India A series back in 2019 when they toured here. I think for her moving forward, she's great in a tournament aspect because she doesn't meet the opposition too regularly. But when she's playing the same team, they figure her out. So she's got to be one step ahead. She's young, she's fine, she is learning, and she's still an exciting packet. Smriti Mandhana showed us a little bit more of her form, but again, just when she's going, that pull shot That pull shot where she has low hands and she goes from low to high position means that oppositions now set someone at deep backward square, and unfortunately she went. Because they kept losing wickets, Harmanpreet Kaur another one, they were just behind the Duckworth-Lewis-Stern method and the par score. So when the rain hit, unfortunately India were behind the 8 ball. But within that T20 match, we saw so much action. The first innings was an amazing innings, both from a batting point of view, but also from a fielding. Shikhar Pandey bowled well. So England win the series, but they're all playing a mini series within a bigger series. So for England, they'll want to ensure that they win this T20 series. But for India, it's all about saving face and trying to get the right combinations. Given the short turnaround to the second match, I thought we'd do a hybrid version of the preview. So, key battles. Nat Siva versus the Indian spinners. I think given that Nat Siva plays so powerfully off the back foot, where she's able to access that cover point region, backward point, and even balls outside off, she's able to swat it in between the two deep fielders on the leg side, means that India can't afford just to take pace off and hang the ball out there, because she's got that ability of picking up the length really well. Either she comes out full and tries to get it on the full and she can bomb it down the ground, or she goes back really well. So I reckon the Indian spinners need to play around with coming over and around the wicket, but also more importantly their pace and length. We didn't see too many Yorker deliveries. We didn't see arm ball from a Radha Yadav either. Do they have it in their armoury? I guess we'll find out, but they've got to find a way of minimising the damage of Nat Siva. Players to watch out for, I think Smriti Mandhana has been the type of person that has shown us glimpses of what she can do. So I'm hoping for her sake and for Indian fans and the team that she's able to get going, because India throughout this series has been struggling to find runs, consistent runs from their top order. And Smriti Mandhana is a person that has shown us and gotten starts, but just hasn't been able to capitalise. As for England, well, I mean, who do you turn to? So many players are stepping up, but probably the player to watch now is an Amy Jones. Did you see the 6 striking from her and just the follow through and extension of her swinging arc? Just so pleasant to watch, and maybe that innings will just reinforce that, yep, that's exactly where she belongs within this England setup for this format. So watch out, Indian bowlers. I think you'll be having to take some Haleen Diol's type catches to ensure that you keep up with England. The playing 11 for India, I don't think they're going to make any changes. However, I am concerned about Shafali Verma moving forward, because I think now they've just gotten into her head. They could potentially drop her down the order and maybe bring someone up to open. They could bring Indrani Roy in. They've still got some options, but I do feel that they want to give some confidence back to the playing 11. Given the fact that it was a rain-affected match, the batters didn't necessarily get an opportunity. So I think that they'll go in with the same 11. Maybe they could just change one of their spin bowlers to a Pujavastrika, maybe, but I guess we'll find out. As for my prediction, I think England are just too good. So it's going to be hard work for India again.